what about next Saturday's event? Is there any fight that you are looking forward to watching? Any rival that you want to see?
The fight I'm most interested to see is the main event, Overeem and Walt. You know, Walt was my introduction to mixed martial arts. So, you know, and this is the first time that we fought on the card together since like 2012. So, you know, this fight right here has a little extra sentimental value for me.
What made you make the decision of start fighting MMA? Do you miss football? Tell me.
Man, I don't miss football too much. You know, to be honest, when I played football, you know, I haven't played football in like 10 years, 10 or 11 years. And, you know, my body just felt trashed. You know, I had to lift too many weights. I was too big. My diet sucked. And, you know, football is very, very hard on the body. So, you know, I was always like hurt. My knees always hurt. My back always hurt. My shoulders always hurt. Now, you know, I'm walking around at much lighter weight than I was. I don't lift as much, like as much heavy weight. And, you know, I feel great, man. You know, I'm 33, but I feel like I'm 22. My body does. So,
Wow.
You know, I think I'm just hitting my prime. So, you know, I think I got plenty of years left. And, you know, I wish I had found MMA before.
Eryk, we want you to tell us about the origin of your nickname, Ja Boy. And also, we saw you on your first fight in Alabama. Deontay Wilder was with you. You are a friend of him, or you are close, or something like that?
Yeah. Well, that fight was in Tuscaloosa, where he lives. And, yeah, we're cool, you know. We don't go out to bars and hang out and drink together or nothing like that, but very cordial whenever we see each other. I support him. He supports me. I go check him out whenever he fights in Vegas and whatnot. You know, he's the heavyweight champ. So, you know, it's pretty cool to have a champion from, you know, the state in which you live and whatnot, especially a small state like Alabama. You know, not a whole lot going on around here, but there's a lot of athletes, you know, that don't necessarily make it in football or basketball that I think you'll start seeing make that transition into MMA.
Why Ja Boy? Sorry.
That's just kind of the way I talk, you know. Whenever I speak, you know, I'll just be like, "Hey, help your boy out. Let your boy borrow some money or something like that." You know. And there's a guy at our gym named Matt Elkins who just kept calling me your boy. And so, man, it just kind of stuck.
Cool.
Have you ever trained with Deontay Wilder?
Nah, Walt has though. Walt sparred with Walt and Tyson Fury. You know, those guys are big, man. That guy is 6'7". You know, he's huge, giant, and he hits really, really hard. So, you know, I didn't. You know, I just never had the opportunity to spar with him, and I'm not sure that, you know, my chin wants that punishment. You know?
Well, I don't know if Ennio, do you have one more?
Yeah, Eryk, you already fought in LFA and Bellator, and now in the UFC. What's the difference between these three promotions?
I would say production value. You know, whenever I fought for Bellator, you know, they fill up the undercard with local fighters. You know, fighters from local promotions and whatnot. So, you know, they have so many fights. I think they only had like 4 or 5 main card fights. So, you know, they let the fights go. They get through as many of the prelim fights as they can until it's time for the main card. Then the main card goes, and then everybody who didn't fight fights after the main card. So, luckily for me, there were like 2 fights before me before the main card started. So, man, these guys were warming up, sweating, getting ready to walk out, and they're like, you're not going to fight for another 2 hours. You know? So, LFA is probably the best organization for a young fighter to be in terms of competition. You know, they have plenty of fights, so there's plenty of opportunities to fight. And I think there's more fighters in the UFC from LFA than any other promotion on the planet. So, you know, that's big to, you know, a lot of their champions. If you're a champion for LFA, man, you're probably going to get a shot in the UFC. So, that was just I was lucky enough to. They're a Texas-based promotion. I'm from Texas, so glad that they were able to sign me. And I was their middleweight champ, and then my very next fight after that was my debut in the UFC.
Yep, exactly. Last one for me, Eryk. What you can tell us about what's going on your division, on the middleweight division on UFC? What do you think is going to happen there?
I think it's a super active division. Israel Adesanya is the champ, and he has expressed on several occasions that he wants to be active. He wants to fight 3 or 4 times a year, and I think that's important for a division. Like the heavyweight division is held up because Stipe's eye. And he can't train right now and all that other good stuff. And, we've seen the lightweight division get held up, the featherweight division get held up. So I think it's important to have champions like Israel Adesanya that are willing and able to fight often and frequently, just to either weed out the contenders or, now we have we get a new champion. But I think Adesanya is going to be the guy for a while.
And Eryk, you were talking about your journey in MMA, about Bellator, LFA, and I want to ask you, which is the most important aspect to make it to the top, in your opinion?
Consistency. It's hard to make it to the championship echelon of fighters if you, like me, win a fight, win 2 fights, lose a fight, lose 3 fights. Win, boom, and just go back and forth. I think you have to be consistent in the way that you fight and win consistently as well.
And taking this into account, do you regret, for example, from taking the Marreta fight, and I think that it was 1 or 2 months after that fight, taking the Elias Teodoro fight? Do you regret of that, of taking the 2 fights too close between the other?
No, not at all. To be honest with you, I think that was that fight right there was the fight that kind of put me on the map for MMA fans, and I got a new contract, got some more money, and whenever money's the motive, it's easy to get in there and fight, so no, there's nothing I regret about that fight at all.
Okay, well, Eryk, thank you very much for
one question. Eryk, I don't speak English, but yo quiero preguntarle a Augusto que le digas por qué entra con la bandera de Brasil y la de Estados Unidos, si se siente algo por Brasil además de la mujer.
Well, Joel, he doesn't speak English, but he wants me to ask you, why do you always enter to the octagon with both flags, the USA flag and the Brazil flag?
Well, I'm American and my wife is Brazilian, and I love the culture. I love the Brazilian culture. Yes. They're huge fans. They're big fans. So I appreciate them, and they've accepted me into their culture and whatnot. So, now they call me the Gringo Brasileiro.
The Gringo Brasileiro. You train there, Eryk? You train in Brazil?
I've trained in Brazil. My wife, she's from Curitiba. So we're going in here in a few weeks, actually like a week after my fight. So I'm probably not going to do a whole lot of training and enjoy some acai and some cerveza.
Nice.
And, yeah, usually when I'm in Brazil, I train wherever we're at. There's a gazillion gyms in Brazil to train at. So, it's never hard to find training there.
Nice.
And
what's that?
Just speak Portuguese.
Pouquinho.
Do you like soccer? Like the Brazilians?
I do. I'm a Santos fan.
A Santos fan?
Wow. Yeah. So hopefully the season's going on when we're down there and we can catch a game. So I don't know what that's going to look like, but if there's a Santos game when we're there, we're definitely going.
You follow the Santos season? You follow their games?
As much as I can, but soccer, the season never ends. They go from one cup to another. So it's hard to keep up if you're not actually there, I feel like.
Santos.
Sorry, Eryk.
Yes. No, I'm going to tell him that Santos number 10 is Jefferson Soteldo. He's Venezuela. That's where I'm from. He's really good. Eh? He's really good. If you go Brazil, check him out. He's good.
All right.
Sorry, Eryk. Augusto, decirle que es gracioso de mi parte. La mujer de él tiene como una página de idiomas inglés. Decirle si hay descuentos para amigos argentinos.
He wants to know if in your wife's webpage there is any type of discount for Argentinian friends because he wants to learn Portuguese.
English.
English.
English too.
English.
English.
English too. He can learn English too. He doesn't speak any language, so
she speaks Spanish as well. So I'm sure she could teach you. But isn't there like a rivalry between Argentina and Brazil?
Yeah.
Yes.
She might charge you a little extra.
Okay, Eryk, thank you very much for your time, for the good vibes, and we wish you the best for your next fight.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for having me.
I hope you win that bonus, man. I hope you win that bonus,
man.
bro.
Every time I fight, I'm fighting for it. So hopefully.
Okay.
Saludos,
Thank you.
Gracias por visitar Somos MMA en YouTube. No olvides suscribirte a nuestro canal y activar las notificaciones para seguir disfrutando de nuestro contenido.